partner, take you first. How's on knowledge to build true? And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this swift interview and welcome to some for the series options. I hope you just enjoyed the keynote presentation. And we're just about to start in the second. That's it. And do the very quick introduction just to sit some time. And here on the center left that we have our Mr. Daniel Littley, the Director of International Communications from Xiaomi. Also, Pablo, Acevedo, Noda, Head of Development and Engineering Mobile from Leica. And those guys were these two gentlemen again to be certified on the guys. And let's begin without further ado. Okay, so first question. Okay, let's just do a manual.
I'm really excited about new products. Obviously, it's pretty beautiful. So, however, Xiaomi 30 series, we don't have also Japanese edition in the Japanese market. Could you give me a situation so you contract with Leica and so I think Leica has also exclusive contract with the other company. So could you give me a Japanese situation? So yeah, Leica.
I'm sorry, but for the commercial communications or business relationships, I'm not allowed to talk about them. I'm head of development and engineering, so that's where I can talk about.
So how about you? Well, that obviously would be in a very strange position if I answer for him. I think that we can follow up with you on this, specifically about the Japanese market. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, that's the 30 feet. Sorry. Thank you very much. I have a question about the dual ISO technology. Could you explain how it works? And is it something that comes with the sensor? Is it something that Xiaomi developed? And how exactly does it improve the dynamic range?
Well, the dual ISO technology comes in the sensor. Basically, what it does is it allows to capture the images in two different ISO, two different gains, let's say. And that can be then merged to create a higher dynamic range image. Basically.
So, is there something like an additional capacitor where image fat that allows to collect more?
I'm not able to answer that question.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay. I can tell the course how we developed this Leica photography kit. I think on the first touch of that feeling, I feel a little bit like a mic. I think it's like a texture, like similar to what the shower has, like the leather texture.
Sorry, you mean the
on the Leica photography kit?
The photography kit.
Yeah, I don't think when I might touch it, it was also like the same kind of like leather that you use on a real Leica.
But I'm not able to answer that because I'm not part of the design of the external design of the ball. Sorry, whatever.
We can get back to in the exact composition, but are you asking specifically about the material or did you want to know more about the development?
Yeah, the development process.
I mean, you can kind of see in the entire device that we're hoping to reflect a lot of the heritage that comes from traditional cameras. That's not just the device itself, but it extends to photography. The material, because of design constraints, isn't identical, but it is very similar to that found on the back of the device.
Wait, sorry, question.
Hi, I'm Blair from Connect. How can we understand the development and coordination process with Leica in terms of the camera quality?
Leica has very, very strict standards, and everything that we do together is co-developed between the two of us. The manufacturing of individual products is handled by us with adherence to specific quality standards and requirements by Leica.
Okay, so you share like a camera lab or something? Actually, we have camera labs in both of our facilities in Germany and in China. Our engineers work together in both places. And actually, Xiaomi has more than one lab in China and actually multiple teams, development teams. And our engineers go to different locations in China also to work. So as it was mentioned during the keynote, Shenzhen and Beijing are the main two locations where we work with them. And of course, in Desjarlais, Germany when their engineers come to our facilities. Okay. Right, I'm interested with the AI features displayed on stage, but there wasn't very much about it. Maybe you can elaborate further on the AI features, like which products are going to get that, and the scalability, at least maybe if there was any. And that because AI is the big buzzword these days, and there have been phone manufacturers that suggest making strides towards that before Xiaomi. Now Xiaomi is kind of following suit, and maybe you can explain about that further. And also, why did you choose to bring the 14 and not the 14 Pro to the international market? Yeah, thank you.
That is a very large question load. Okay, we'll go one by one. So AI features are directly baked into HyperOS. We've coded everything specifically around HyperOS, so our AI features will launch alongside this. Of course, there are limitations as you are using not just software to create the capability for this, but also the hardware capabilities of the SoC. So regarding the specific devices that this will launch on, this will have to come over to you. This is something I can share to you later. It's also a very, very long list. When it comes to the Xiaomi 14 Pro, all of our products are released in global audiences and domestic markets with specific strategy built around the capabilities of the product and our portfolio in specific markets. We felt that this time, the Xiaomi 14 and the Xiaomi 14 Ultra covers a perfect gambit and a perfect range of products for the global audience.
Do you have any highlights or the AI pictures?
It will once again, it will depend on the specific products, but this will be coming alongside the launch of HyperOS. If not, OTA to be not the best.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm super close from Italy. I have a question for Daniel. And showing the technology at the higher pilot of the excellent partners as Leica, for example, as in the very large ecosystem on the global scale. So for you, what's missing here to catch up with the satisfying at the same level of the Samsung and the Apple? Maybe just question for element, just one element to the more they keep.
Yeah, as Mr. William Liu announced today, we have maintained top 3 positions for the past consecutive 14 quarters. We don't really feel like anything is lacking in our strategy, but what we're continuing to do is develop our portfolio of products across the world. I referred specifically to smartphones. Overall, we've made very, very large strides in the premium segments for smartphones over the last few years. As far as AIoT and our other smartphone devices, we will continue to offer more and more different product categories as it's possible to do around the world. However, those are 2 very, very different things. We do maintain number 1 for AIoT around the world with 699 million devices right now, actually significantly more. And this is something that we will continue to grow and maintain over time. So I don't really feel like we're lacking anything. It's a question of time. So when, how about
Yeah, questo Catania tu mi fu Italia Foldly, show me cars. I don't know if you walk through something more about his dates, but my question is more clear, more easier. Why are you so convinced that it can make a very good car compared to the traditional manufacturer?
I mean, EV is a very fresh territory. We have employed some of the top experts in the field across the world in order to achieve this. As far as dates, you'll have to stay tuned. We are quite confident in this, and we offer a unique advantage that is not seen in other companies, and it's the ability to offer not just a car, but also a complete ecosystem. We have a way to center this around your individual life with your smartphone and connect your smart home and have a vehicle. This is something that essentially isn't.
Hello, this is Raymond Ponko, and I actually got a lot of questions to ask, but the most important one, I think, is a broader question, actually, because I believe everyone here can see the success in the cooperation between Leica and Xiaomi. However, I'd actually like to ask in person, how does Leica actually see is the future of AI photography? And does Leica actually believe the cooperation with Xiaomi will beneficial to the mobile imaging industry as a whole? Thank you.
I will answer the second one first because I think it's very obvious that the whole industry will benefit from AI. That's for sure. And the approach regarding Leica is that we are very careful with the AI features because, as you might have seen in some media in the past, there have been developments by other companies that were a little bit dubious in terms of the final quality. AI can improve, that's for sure, but at the same time can also bring some, let's say, collateral problems to photography. And we, as a company that somehow has been in photography for almost 100 years already, we believe in the capturing the fleeting moment, but without too many artificial things happening in the photo works.
Thank you. So, may I say actually, with the AI features, as we can see the demonstration, the bokeh effect, because as everyone knows, Leica is very strict on the optics and lens design. So what is the perspective and vision of Leica towards AI assisted bokeh effect compared to traditional lens?
As long as the photography or as long as the results are what user expects about photography, we are always on board. I mean, this is not a question of if it's working or not. Once these developments, as I said, they are not bringing the best results or the high quality standards that we are expecting, then we might not only go into that kind of development.
But thank you.
So what I try to say is that we have to guarantee that the highest image quality is provided to the users. But sometimes some of those features might be helpful, but might have some little problems, let's say. So until we are not sure that these problems are solved, then we are a little bit more careful about it.
The last one is very convincing. And the bokeh effect.
For the bokeh effect.
Yeah, and the RAM are just very convincing.
Yeah.
Accurate. Yes.
Thank you. Hello, Christian from Germany from Computer Build. I have two questions. One is at least regarding to our lab test, the main quality of smartphone photography has been stalling for some years, which often new generations bring better software, better solutions for certain light conditions and so on. And so I wonder, what is your opinion about the future? Is now the time where things like even better software integrations, AI will bring new photo quality levels, or is there some kind of hardware magic on the horizon that might change the step up, or will we maybe integrating 10 lenses or something like that? And on the other hand, I would like to see your point of view. What makes your attitude different? If you compare, it's like Samsung, it's on megapixels and on lenses, different tele lenses. iPhone is like the good photo for everyone. Pixel is all about software. So is there some basic idea what's different with the Leica Xiaomi attitude?
Well, first, for the first question regarding hardware or software, I think I always say that it's a half. Without that proper hardware, you are never going to get a nice result only by software. And this is something that, I mean, a lot of devices are able to process or to use the same kind of software, but without the proper hardware to capture the images to begin with, there is no possibility to achieve the highest image quality. Of course, once we have the greatest offer, the best hardware, the best software has to go with it in a way that the processing, the whole pipeline from the capturing to the JPEG is generated, they works perfectly together. So it's a good combination.
We are now we are on our own. So you could tell me, is there some secret hardware innovation in the next years you have on this after?
I didn't want to tell you like this, but I cannot answer. Research topics, they are under the confidential.
Yeah, okay, good. And the Leica.
Well, at Leica, we believe in the greatest image quality, and it usually doesn't have to do with numbers. We're mentioning megapixels, for example, or stuff like that. We believe that the photo is an art that captures a moment, something that the user wants to record for the centuries, let's say. And for that, we focus very much in the sharpness. So images as our lenses from our professional cameras are known. And that's one of the key features or the most important parts that we see in photography.
Yeah, this is demon. Hi, is there any plan to bring the Leica content then tools from the M11P to the mobile platform?
I cannot tell you.
Expect that. Again, when it comes to that.
Yeah, my question is also the future vision for smartphone camera. So, as you said, so hopefully got a cinema. So this means so I think a more bigger lens is a much better than this kind of design. So in the future, what do you think about big lens is a future or a smartphone or still so this kind of a form factor? So what do you think about that?
Well, obviously, with bigger lenses, you can get better quality. That's the compromise that we are having in smartphones since the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It might be possible for some users because, professional phones or phones with almost professional cameras are not for everybody. And some users might accept that the size increases. But it has to be very carefully developed in a way that most of the users honestly will put them in their phones.
Yes.
Because in the end, one of the biggest reasons that the smartphones are great for photography is that you carry them. With a camera, if you have to carry something else, let's say that is not comfortable for you in the daily life, then it becomes a camera, then you can just go with that.
Thank you so much.
So next question. Right. Well, you keep path. And it comes to the term. Population with the press base. And for use of binders with the brief roadmap about the next stage of HyperOS, will be adopted by third-party vendors.
So because we are both based on open source Xiaomi Vila, there is possibilities for people to develop for the platform. However, third-party vendors utilizing our operating system on their devices is something that we can share more information on. But as far as the next steps for Xiaomi HyperOS, we did release our overall roadmap for the Xiaomi devices and the Redmi devices that it will launch on their 30s.
So that's interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. How excited are you about the new sensors? How big of a technology leap we believe is this, or does it finish out X month, excited looking at the sensors, not all that?
I will say that there is a step actually where I will not capture more dynamic range based on this technology. It's an iteration, let's say, and it's big in itself, but at the same time, maybe final users will not appreciate all the improvements that come with this technology. Oh, it's professional users for sure, but maybe the normal users will just see that photos a little bit better.
And another question, how do you expect that the broad audience will use the HDR video and expect 20 color space features? Is it something the Instagram or platform even support? So where are the main benefits in the
There's a great variety of smartphone displays out there that will actually support this format. This is something that varies, but leading back to the third word that you said there, the broad user, this is fucking better. Ethically in the same direction. This is something that professionals will appreciate, other people will not.
Thanks very much. I keep framing that in the other three questions. Which can help me actually to boost the sensor for 740 past the ultra 14? And then when testing for glare, are you testing for the lens only, or is it including the protect glass? The third thing is, was there no Leica collaboration for front camera? Whereas many people are using front cameras right now. Should go backwards. Wait.
Sorry, can you repeat your first question for me?
So, which company actually produced the sensor for the Xiaomi ports? Camera.
Actually, let me triple check on that and get back to you. So we collect this.
Right. And then the flare thing, what's the thing, the flare? Are you guys testing only the lens, or is it including the protective glass?
It's tested, but at least the part of we do about let's test the blur. We test both the camera module by itself, and then once all the camera modules are in the device, we also test for blur. I mean, we do all the testing once the device is fully being, let's say. So because that's what the users are also get.
Are you guys applying a layer of thumbs up layer? You can code for the protective glass. So also there
For the protective glass of the lens itself.
for the protective glass.
Oh, that's specific for that.
But the coatings are glasses, but
And the coating
the coatings are for glasses. But actually, I know that the process done on the glass, or the protective glass, it's also done in a way that minimizes imperfections or aberrations or stuff like that.
the last one was why with the threads there no like Xiaomi collaboration for front camera. So many contacts right now is using front camera.
This is, yeah, let's say that we are focusing on the main camera, which is because it's what basically is used to capture photos. The front camera is usually more for selfies or creating content, as you said. And I don't know, it might come in the future. We're not sure. But for the moment, we are focusing on the main camera. So, or thank you. Think about like a standalone selfie camera.
It's pretty like that bit. What's for? Yeah, what's the point? The direct sense. So next question. And that's it now. So hi, we go for summer. One of the things that surprised me the most last year, from the unveiling of the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, is that Xiaomi was the first brand to talk about sharpening and how to much judgment and create a photography. Unfortunately, it's very contrasting, even in high-tech mobiles. Some users like over the process photo. So I think that the industry is working in that direction. What will Xiaomi and Leica be about whisper?
Well, as you said, we brought the topic about sharpening the latest generation, and we are very careful in terms of not over-processing the image. Of course, there might be users that want to see a crisper image, but that's easily done in post-processing. So what we try to keep is a natural look, what should be exactly, and this over-processing or over-sharpening is, as I said, is something that you can do in post. So there's no need to bring a photo from the very
Developing from that question, I've actually come to my work, but it's about the image processing as well. Because last year when I was trying out with 13 Pro, I found out that the portrait mode was really
true to life and 3D, and with very extensive skin texture as well. But later on down the line, I can see a switch in the image rendering for picture, both for the portrait models, such as on the 13 Ultra and 13T Pro series as well. Is there any change in perspective or the the portrait models for a smartphone from Xiaomi and Leica? Thank you.
I mean, the philosophy has always been the same, and developments, our developments continue. So we might introduce improvements in what we believe should be the portrait mode.
Because I really enjoyed the true to life and camera-like portrait photos back in the first iteration. But later on, when the skin smoothing effect is more pronounced, I started to think, is it possible to go back?
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and the settings are there for that. We have also the custom photographic side, which allow to basically tune the photo or configure the settings for the capturing of the photo and the processing in a way that for every user, based on their needs or on their what tastes. That's it.
Again, addressing your previous question first, there is the option to completely remove skin sharpening. Skin depending on the beautify settings, etc. that you use, and whether you're shooting the pro mode or not full auto. So I mean, it's right. There's so many possibilities on Flash B that was never something that had intentionally changed. So this next generation portrait mode has been a massive focus for us. There is, however, still this focus on remaining authentic. We want to get photos that look like people, not photos that look like photos of people. Do you understand that?
Next question. Hi, I'm in Español. My question is about portrait. Some years ago, we have seen some phones with things like sensors, but not now. It's not necessarily anymore this kind of sensor to make great portraits.
There's multiple roads to every great photo. There, for instance, to draw comparison to this, there's 50 megapixel sensors that produce amazing photos. There's 200 megapixel sensors that provide amazing photos. This is one of those things where you can achieve great photos with it, and you can achieve great photos without. So I wouldn't say that it's necessary, but I wouldn't say it's a negative thing. I don't know.
It just adds to the whole mix of technologies that are being used, and it's not necessary for portrait mode. That's what you
think. So next question. Which are the differences in the real world between a Samicron and Summilux lens?
In the real world?
I mean, on the field.
It's basically the Summicron lenses have a smaller aperture compared to the Summilux lenses. So Summilux lenses allow for more light intake to the sensor.
Okay.
So faster lenses, as they are talking about.
Not sharper.
Well, sharper. It doesn't have to be sharper. You will get a shallower depth of field, which might feel like you are having a sharper image, but it's not that they have to be sharper per se. All Leica lenses usually get super sharp.
Okay, so sorry I was a little late, but did you already commented water condensation problem, the main module of the camera, Xiaomi 14?
This is a naturally variant mount, and I want to reinforce and state very clearly with you that this is not an issue with product quality. All of our phones are tested for ingress and water protection, and it's the naturally very common because I would advise the users who experience this simply put their phone in a dry place, and the issue should go away with time. And doing so will also lower the chance of this repeating on the engine.
Okay. So, another question? No questions? Sure. Okay, bro, it's asking about the software updates. How many updates for this for Subtitles there?
4+5.
4 yes. So, next question. What? It's my last opportunity, guys. Okay, no more questions. Oh, we drinking a bit. Sorry. One more question. We say I portrait picture or the AI portrait picture can generate portraits based on existing image.
Yes.
Images. Is all the processing happening locally?
This is on the device.
On the
Yes.
And which device will get it? Will it have for all devices?
Obviously, because it's on device, capabilities this will vary. If you have questions about specific devices, we can follow up. What I can say is it will be in devices.
Okay. With that, I'd actually like to ask about a generative expand as well. Is that tab based on the
On device.
go out? That's great. Can you share? You should. Okay, so when I have any questions, Okay, and I think we're all happy with this interview. For this end, and thanks for coming. Thank you guys, and please feel free to go downstairs and enjoy the stage sound. Yeah, because it's still open. And thanks for coming. Thank you. That's it. You guys around and the listening sheet.